Okay, I've won to a UGC Highlander Season 16 Week 2's map Gullywash. So, just getting this started off. Pretty much mid-fights, just whip your combo wherever they want to go. If they want to go choke, just follow them. If they want to go big door, just follow them. From there, it all depends on where your combo wants to go. You just kind of want to follow them. If they're playing an aggressive mid, usually your demo will still be down here, and you pretty much want to take the initiative and just deny this area. Usually, like, you'll get your buff right here and then jump right here, and usually the demo will be somewhere in this area right here. And just try and like pressure him out. If he drops out, great. Just try and like stay alive. Don't like deep commit into their combo. Like, you don't, like, if they're coming up like elbow or something, you don't want to like deep commit into them right there, because you're just going to die and give like your life up for nothing. But you pretty much need to be the instigator, because you're the fastest class to actually be able to get up there, besides the scout. So that's pretty much like just the initiation of mid. If you're going up your side, then you can just jump up here, sort of spam out the sniper if you want, get up into this area, and just sort of play around here. You can deny like a mini sentry or whatever, or if you're playing your side, you can also play the floor. If you ever want to play the floor, just pretty much like choose a side. Usually the mini will be spammable from right there, and you can peek. If you see a sniper, I would just stop playing lower. If the sniper's up there, fucking great, you can play lower all you want. If the sniper's in big door, you pretty much either like deny this ground, or you can just get into them and instigate for your fight. But otherwise, if you want to go up your own side for mid, then you sort of want to play like super far left area. Deny this, you can push through right here, help like deny or kill anything in here, jump across to here, and make sure like nothing's in this area, and then you can walk up to choke if you want. Or you can also just come out of here. If there's like nothing in this area, you can just jump straight up here to instigate the fight. So you can pretty much like jump from wherever you want onto the mid. You can also, if their sniper's a really big problem, you can just go straight into big door, because he'll generally be big door, and just skip across the point right there and just get into him as quickly as possible. Or you can slightly delay as well. It makes it a little bit less likely for any teammates to still be lingering around. Like, usually the NG will be the only people, or the only person protecting the sniper in here, and the NG's super easy to get past, so it's not that big of a deal. Like, you can just jump over his head or just get past him. Like, the mini won't do that much damage to you, and if you can trade your life for a sniper, that is 100% worth it. But in the situation where, like, say your demo goes choke and you guys are going up big door through here, and your demo calls that they're going your side, you pretty much have to be, again, the instigator. Jump up here and just put as many rockets into right here as possible. You're going to die, but that's like necessary to deny them. And with you and your demo together, you should be able to completely stuff them if you're expecting it. And the demo should be sort of like a little bit more passive, like just spamming back here, and then you are sort of the instigator and just getting right into them and putting as many rockets into there as possible. And just hoping that the pyro doesn't get the reflect, and just putting a shit ton of damage into this little tiny area. And pretty much anything walking up there is going to either be dead or just destroyed and can't push anymore. Otherwise, like, sort of when you're staying alive on mids, I guess one other mid you can do when you go lower, if you go here, if you see anything looking at you, don't fucking do this. But if you see nothing's on the floor, then feel free to just go up the enemy drop down, because a lot of the times, even in plat, like, the enemy medic will be chilling around here, nothing will really be paying attention. You can just jump up here, separate the medic, and then get a nice rocket on him and take him out pretty easily. Then from there, since you pretty much just used 3 of your rockets, I would spend 1 more there, and then, or either 1 more or 0, and just jump up here and just get behind them. Then you can come up here, collect the health kit, and then from here you can do whatever your team needs you to do. You can commit back through choke if that's a problem. You can wrap around big door if the sniper's still alive. There's really a lot of different options, and it depends on what the enemy team does of what you can do in this mid. And nothing's correct or incorrect. Just make sure you're switching it up, not doing the same mid every single time. Like, make sure you're not just bombing into the sniper every time, and just give some variety, and just make sure like it's actually working. If something is not working for you, just stop doing it and just try something new. But Otherwise, like, yeah, mids you can really do just whatever you want. Just you need to be, if you're playing, like, if they're playing an aggressive mid or you're playing an aggressive mid, you just have to be the aggressor and be the instigator, because you can do the most possible damage in a short amount of time when people are going through the choke to pretty much win your team the entire mid fight. Otherwise, say like you go in big door quickly and there's nothing here, or you kill the sniper super quick, you can pretty much just jump here as quickly as possible, and remember that you're in a time limit. The longer you take to get here, the more you're like baiting your team, because you're not in the mid fight at this point. But it is okay to wrap around and then come up through choke. Like, this is sort of a sneakier way than drop down where people can just watch you. And then from here you can commit. If the medic's out here, I would just try and like walk as far as possible without being spotted, and then get on him from there, or like a demo lingering around there, a sniper or anything. Just pretty much just avoid the pyro and the heavy as much as possible, and you'll be golden. So after the mid fight, you're gonna want to be pushing into second. If you guys pretty much like steamroll the mid, or just like say you just won the mid and like they still have a few people up, what you want to do is your scout and your heal, so basically your fastest classes need to go through big door here, and you're just going to go through and just go straight into their combo. And between you and the scout, you should be able to at least get the medic or get something, and you like, they're just not going to be in a position to fight when they're backing up, and you can just pretty much completely mulch them. Pretty much any mid you've ever won, unless, say, like, they lose a sniper really quick and they decide to back out of the mid, or their demo dies super early and they back out with, like, 8 people. Otherwise, if you have, like, any pushing advantage, just go instantly. Just leave one person on the cap and just start going through big door. And you just always want to go through big door so you can get to where they're going to try and back up as quickly as possible. Yeah, same with, like, a couple of mid fights where, like, I know, like, I just went and killed the sniper, I come up here for the health kit, and I know we're winning the mid. I'll do one of two things, or like say I already got the medic, I'll jump up here and just wait for them, or I'll just go for the long play and go all the way behind them, and like if nothing's spawning, you can just hide super easily, just sort of like chill, like pretty much anywhere. You can like hide over there, you can just like hide right here on top of the boxes, but just get here as quickly as possible. Or if you can't get there quickly, if it takes a little bit longer, just get into their lobby and just chill right up here and just wait for like a medic or something, or a demo. You can even just wait right here if you know one or two things are spawning. I've like caught out some demos right here, just wait for anything and just be checking all around you. But otherwise, yeah, from the mid fight, you just want to get that presence as quickly as possible. So pushing into 2, there's a few things you can do. One, if you just want to help out your team clear choke, you can just come up here and you can sort of be like the instigator, and you can do one or two things. You can jump up here and then take the high ground and pressure. I wouldn't really recommend this if there's like a heavy close or like a sniper's back here watching you. Another thing you can do, make sure this trap's cleared, go wide, and just instigate and get into them. Or you can even take a flash of the Uber through and just use it to get behind. So like, say you get flashed right here, just jump straight up here, fight anything that's right there, and just get behind them and be just a pest. It's okay if you die as long as you just annoy them as much as possible. That's pretty much the only things I recommend going through choke. Another thing, you can sort of like clear the area, make sure there's no 6 by just jumping back here, and then have your team immediately push after that, so they're not really like baiting you. But they pretty much have to come in immediately. But then you can chill around this rock and like do damage while you're sort of like the distraction as they come in. But those are pretty much the only 2 things I would ever do from choke. Otherwise, coming through big door, you always want to make sure you're never alone, and just check for stupid hiding spots, like clear this shit up here, and just make sure like you're not baiting your teammate with you, and just clear all areas, make sure like nothing can get through here. Because when you're coming through big door, like when your combo's pushing through choke, you're not really like trying to frag things, you're just trying to make sure this space is open so that the like people in here can't get in your combo. So you can take it as slow as you want. Like you can just sort of like spam things out and then start moving through. Just make sure nothing's around here. If it is totally clear, then just get up top as quickly as possible and make sure there's no sniper or anything up here. If there's two, like if there's like 2 or 3 or plus things up here, I would just immediately back out. So you can just wrap around, just check, and then jump away if there's anything else. But if there's like 1 or 2 things lingering, then you pretty much just have to fight them, like spam them out, make sure they can't peek. You don't have to overly commit to them. If there's like a sniper trying to back out, you can do a few jumps where you can just get onto him as quickly as possible by jumping through river. But like any of these walls here, you can just jump off of and get through the river area and just skip through there and just get on the sniper as quickly as possible, so he's not just sort of lingering around in river. Otherwise, if you're pushing big door with your combo, then you pretty much want to do one of 2 things, which is like while you're pressuring through here, you just jump up top like usual, or you can just get through like through the lower door here, and then you make sure someone's with you, jump through here and just fight whatever's here and just clear this area, and then you can just wrap around slowly through the up top and get up here through that. Otherwise, you just take it slow as possible through big door. So once you have second secured, you probably want to be the capper a lot of the time, just because there's not too much you can do. So like just chill up here, make sure nothing can come up top and sort of cap. Otherwise you just always want to be pressuring up top. And then never, unless you're like going off of momentum, never go into lobby unless you have Uber. Like there's no reason to be in there. It's such an like enclosed area and you can block them off so easily from up here. Your team can just chill out here. You can just sit over here and watch and make sure nothing can get up top. Watch there. Or if your team has this covered, make sure something's watching the lower door. And you can just chill right here and just watch this. Make sure like a spy can get to you or anything and just sort of do that. And just chill right here until you actually have Uber. And you can start clearing lobby for your team. When you have Uber and you're in lobby, there's a few places you can hold. One is sort of like back here, and you can just deny this area. Make sure like a soldier can't get there, like if your sniper's there. If anything's pushing here, you can just sort of block them around the corner. I would never go through main because snipers usually watch it. If you hold river, I would just hold sort of back here. Always just spam that area right there. If you ever go past here, just check that with a quick rocket to make sure spies and like checking back there. You can always just peek here, just spam like that area if you really feel like being a nuisance. Never go into the water area unless like nothing can see you or your team is doing like an ample distraction or your team supporting you, because you're pretty much just going to get killed when you're down there. So it's holding sort of passive in one of those 2 positions. Once you're actually ready to push, it's pretty much like whatever your team just needs you to do. Just look for open areas, like say none of your teammates are watching this lobby area. Just sort of chill over here, make sure nothing can wrap behind for a few seconds. And then after that you can come in through the Uber just up here, put like post Uber and sort of support your team. Or you can come in through main and just jump straight up here and take the high ground. If your team's pushing through the shutter here, you always want at least one person going balcony. You can be that person, and you can just sort of like counter spam right here, or while they're distracted from the Uber up there, you can like jump through and get onto them, or you can even jump up here. Just pretty much take the high ground from wherever you come from. You can get up here. So pretty much like any way you can think of, you can probably push from. If you're, and wherever your team is pushing from, just make sure to support them like with whips. Just whip them through to make them a little bit quicker and then rotate to your other position. Going water, I would always have one other person with you, and like if your team's Ubering through here, it's a really good distraction to just jump behind because nothing will really see you. Then you and a teammate can come through water here. Always just check right there, and then you can just control this area and just make sure nothing can cross this and just try and get cap time. Another way to focus cap time is coming through the Uber. Like if you're Ubering through here, you can just jump straight over here and just basically go like, you can either go like into secret over here, or you can just go straight over the glass here pretty much and just get onto point. Just make sure nothing's right here and then start focusing this area. Or you can even, if you jump from river straight over the glass here, you can sort of like distract because we'll see something's on the cap and then just drop down here and start like splashing this area and just sort of like deter anything, and then things will start focusing on the cap, and then your demo can start doing work over the cap area. Otherwise, like, just sort of play off your team. Like, don't bait people. You're pretty much going to die in this push, and that's okay. You just want to, like, be the distraction for the rest of your team. So just like, and if it's ever a medic killing Uber, like say you have advantage and you need to get like the medic's about to have, and just wherever you can, just get into the medic as quickly as possible. He's generally going to be holding around this area, so wherever you can, just jump to there as quick as possible. You can pretty much go from anywhere. My favorite's usually river, just to get and block this general area. But yeah, just pretty much like work around with your team, just see your weaknesses, see like what people on your team are like not covering, and just cover that area, because you can be effective from pretty much every possible entrance pushing into this last. And just try and like instigate things as quickly as possible, especially like if there's like a sniper up there or anything, you can just get onto him super quickly and just make sure he has to back up into spawn, and you can rotate back down here and start denying ground. And just basically just once again, like, just don't jump where the heavy your pyro is and you'll be fine. And just try and do as much damage before you die. So defending, we'll start with last and go out. Actually, I guess pushing out of last. So pushing last into second is again like you're just sort of clearing whatever area you can. If your engineer is alive, he should be the one staying last. If your engie dies, you're probably the one that should stay last. Just sort of stick around like this area so you can get onto the point quickly. Make sure nothing can flank you from water, and just chill over here to protect last. Otherwise, just clear whatever area your team isn't. Usually the two favorite things I like to do on this point is if our team's pushing through shutter here, I'll just go balcony so I can counter spam. And do a little bit more damage and help out my combo. And this area is also being covered, so I'll do that. Or if like the heavy comes up here instead and our combo is going through there, I'll just go through main, put a little pressure right there, and then just check lower, make sure nothing's coming through here, and then just push out to big door, catch anything like retreating, make sure nothing can get back in. Otherwise, if you go river, just make sure you're not alone, because since you have like such a height disadvantage coming from river, you don't really want to be alone here. You always want to just jump as quickly as possible, get into whatever's here. Usually something will be lingering around like this or this top area, and just play around your teammates and just slowly push them out, because this isn't really that big of a deal. They're going to be hurt anyways, and they're not really a direct threat to your combo. Just make sure they can't just hang out here, and just deal with them just slowly and just metagame them. I usually wouldn't be on the cap point when you're pushing out. You can be in one of two areas. One is just sort of right here, just denying the big door. If this is covered properly by your combo, you can just jump up to choke and just make sure you're denying this. Or even better, you can chill right here so you have a little bit more of a view and an early spam angle. But yeah, just make sure everything's covered, especially like lower. Just someone should be covering that, and usually that's the thing that most people forget about, is just that lower area. So pushing from second into mid, there's a few things you can do again. If your combo's coming through here, you can just clear drop down really quick, just go through here and just support your combo as quickly as possible. And then from here, like if they call like they're backing up big door, you can try and get onto them from there. If they're backing up choke, you can just chill out here, just sort of go slowly, make sure nothing can see you, and then from there you can jump up into choke and deal with them that way. Or you can just, I would never really go straight through choke unless you're sort of the designated person. I would only go through choke if your combo's pushing big door. And if your combo's pushing big door, just take this slow, make sure there's no traps or anything, and the second that's cleared, you can just take over this area right here, and you can just go as slow as you want. You don't really have to instigate if your combo's going over there. And the second this is cleared, you can start supporting your team, get on the point, and just deny whatever area you need to. Otherwise, your main pushing area is going to be from big door, and this, you don't want to peek it until like your combo's actually through. Like this is, if you're pushing with an Uber, this is sort of like baity, but the second your combo says they're actually through, that means there'll be an ample enough distraction to be able to peek. Otherwise a sniper or a soldier could just fuck you instantly. You always want to pre-fire this area. Spies love decloaking there, and the second your combo says they're through, you can get here and just support wherever you need be from there. if they say they're going through choke, you can just jump straight up into choke and just clean up anything like right here. Never commit too far, and just sort of stay around like this line right here. If they're big door, you can do just like that and try and get into big door, or you can sort of take it a little bit slower and just do the safe route from right there and get in that way. Pretty much you just want to get in, like, the second your combo's in, you want to be in. So even though you're delaying a little bit, like, you're not really baiting too hard because you're still committing the second your combo's committing, you're just not the one instigating the fight just because it's too easy for you to die here. So generally nothing will be around here, but just you and your flank blast should just clear anything. Call if anything's coming up the banana there, and then you can like walk up elbow or just jump up here and just pressure from there. So I guess we'll start defending from last first. So defending last, my favorite thing probably to do is just chill around like this area, because from up here you can deny shutter if you need be, you can get buffs from your medic over there, and then you can just aggressively peek this as much as you want to. Especially like you always want to make sure just no sniper can get through this balcony or launch pad or whatever you want to call it. So just chill around this area. Every once in a while you can just sort of commit through here, pre-fire there, and then if anything starts looking at you, just back up, you can get health or the ammo, and then you can like even recommit and just start shooting whatever is trying to chase you. Otherwise, if nothing's looking at you, just keep pestering, especially if they're trying to push through the shutter, just start pushing through the balcony, and then you can catch them out really easily. Just juggle them with rockets and make sure they're staying in this room, and then your demo can commit into them super easily and get that cleanup frag. Otherwise, yeah, just pressuring and being a nuisance. I would never really go into river. Like, here is just basically asking to die if the team is decent at all. If you ever, like, really want to watch river, you can sort of do it from, like, here, but I really don't like this right area because it's too susceptible to too many sniper sight lines, and you can just die super easily. So, this is probably the most effective you can be. If there's a sniper ever in main, you just drop down and immediately put a rocket into him so he can't really do that, and you can just push him and just kill him, because he'll usually try and back up lower, and that's just a super easy pick from that point. Otherwise, like, from up here, the second they've actually pushed, just sort of chill around this area. Even if they pushed, you can sort of like push behind them, clean up anything trying to come through the launch pad or the balcony, and then just recommit over here. Like if they're backing up river, you can get it super easily, just jump into them right there. I wouldn't really ever do like, unless like they've seriously fucked up the push and their medic is like, if they're almost wiped, if their medic is getting out, then you can go through here and just go up here and just try and stop them or chase the medic. But otherwise, I would just go straight into them if they're ever backing up river from up here and just jump directly into them and try and clean up right out whatever's up there. But yeah, pretty much the goal to doing this is just playing around this launch pad area in general. If you ever need it on point, you can chill up here. If you're ever coming at a spawn and you need to drop down to point quickly, don't do this because usually it'll just be stickied. If you're ever coming at a spawn, just jump over this. It's a lot less predictable and you can just get some easy damage onto them from there. So defending second, you pretty much just want to play like passive big door. That's really just wherever your team needs you. Like if I hear they're in choke and we're having sort of issues, I'll come up here and start pressuring from up here. Especially if I know like if say like we wiped on mid and like I'm alive, usually a lot of people will be here and they'll check it, but what they don't check is hiding and crouching in this back corner, because this makes you a lot harder to see. And then like you can fucking shoot through that crack right there, because that's like not protected right there. So you can shoot through that crack, or you can even watch things, and basically like the second that first thing comes, you'll sort of like see them like peeking out and then like check up here and not see you, and then that's the time you want to drop down. The second they say it's safe, you just drop and wrap right there, and then the medic should usually be in that area and you can get an easy flank on them through there. Otherwise you can just sort of like do here and just sort of passively spam from there, but usually you won't be needed choke. You'll usually be holding by the big door, And there's 3 spots you usually want to sit in. One is just in this general area. You want to be non-stop spamming like this pretty much, just so no sniper can peek and just insta-kill you. Usually have a dispenser right here. You just want to bother your NG to set up his dispenser somewhere by the flank in a passive area, just so you don't have to go back for ammo. But just keep spamming this corner. Make sure no sniper can get to you if you're playing this passive. You can play like in here and like sort of peek that. Or you can play on this sign right here, which is sort of a little bit more of an aggressive hiding spot. So you can always still do that spam. Or you can chill up here. This is like the super hiding spot where somehow people still don't check you, even however long this map's been played now. And just sit up here. You don't want, usually people check that, so you will usually want to be more centered right here instead of in the corner. And then you can just like try and get some sort of cheeky pick there and just deny and just do damage. Otherwise, your best retreating area, like say like your combo says they're through choke and we're losing the fight, you don't really want to stay in. Like, you're going to get overwhelmed here, so even if you're over here, just get out lower as quickly as possible, because things will be chasing you, and just get to last. And like, just try and stay alive, because your life is more important than like trying to go for like some cheeky bomb or something, because it's probably just not going to work. Defending mid, there's usually you'll just be in big door. You can sit sort of aggressive right here and just like aggressively peek, take down the minis, and you can just like spam this door and spam that right there for anything trying to play lower. Or you can play it super passive back here and just spam this non-stop. You have your 2 ammo kits back here, so it doesn't really matter, and you can just keep spamming this and make sure no sniper can peek you. If you ever see a sniper start peeking you, just go back here and just keep spamming and just call it. That's usually if you're alone. If you have people, you want to be in this more like aggressive position, just getting that corner, make sure nothing can come through. If you're holding choke, like if your combo's about to push big door and you need to hold choke, make sure someone's with you like right here and just sort of play around here. You can peek choke if you want to and be a little cheeky, otherwise just sort of chill in this area and just deny anything that comes around the corner, and then you can push after that from there through the choke if it's like just you and one other person. If you're playing passive, this is a little bit of aggressive, like passive holds, chilling up here, and then just making sure you can get out as quickly as possible once they start pushing. Otherwise, you can just chill in this area and just keep spamming there, or spam choke if you need be, but usually big door, and then from there you can just get out to choke super easily. And if sometimes even holding mid, you can just like watch 2 things. Like, you can just chill back here and just watch drop down as well while you're holding big door, and make sure nothing can get through there. So if like your team's wiped or it's in dire situations, there's like 3 areas we can do cheeky plays from. This is probably the worst one because anything can see you from big door. But the second you see like anything cross there, just drop behind his head and start shooting. The other area, which is a little bit better, I think it might only be on one side. Yeah, it's only on one side of the mid, but it's basically like up that. You can see this lamp over here, and you can just chill on that lamp up there. So you can jump up here, jump to the lamp and sit right there. And this is probably my favorite spot because like nothing usually checks this high, and you can do a super high bomb like wherever the medic is. You can pretty much get anywhere on mid from that one spot right there. You can jump it from up here as well. A like super stupid spot you can do if they're ever like pushing like super fast through big door is you just hold the W key and just strafe into the ramp, and you can just chill up here like indefinitely if you want to. Just it takes a little bit more effort, and then drop down when need be. On the side, unfortunately it's the same with this side here. You can see this crack right here is also a place you can sit. Again, this side for some reason doesn't have it. You don't see that crack anywhere, but you can sit like inside of that crack as well. So you can come up here, so you can see like I hit my head on it right there. So you can sort of, it's a little bit like more difficult to get around because you have to sort of like strafe around the crack itself, and I haven't done this jump in a long time, but you can get up here and sit on that crack. Just the one thing about this spot, it's a lot sneakier again, but do not uncrouch. like, if you're crouching in this spot, you have to stay crouched, because the second you let your head up, you get stuck in between two invisible barriers, and you cannot move. So just make sure you're holding the crouch key as much as possible, and then you'll be able to freely move from there. But if you ever stand up, like, you're just stuck there indefinitely. So, yeah, it's usually better for the red side. Like, if you're defending mid and they're pushing from the red side, if, like, they're red and you're on blue, it's a lot easier to sit on these spots. Otherwise, if you're on red and they're coming from the blue side, that and that is pretty much the only, like, two spots you can sit on. That's, like, an option, but it's super easy to see even from the choke. Same with, you can sort of hide like in this corner right here, or you can hide just in the banana in general and come through, but people usually check that, and it's pretty obvious. So just play off your team in general. That's all you really want to do, is just make sure you're covering like a spot that your like teammates aren't. Just like if you're ever in an area and you see like 3 or 4 teammates around you, you're probably holding the wrong area, unless you're like getting your buff or like whipping your teammates through anything. But if there's ever 3 or 4 more people around you, like, you should just not be there, and you need to go and find somewhere else, because you're going to be way more useful, because you're probably the most powerful defending class on your flank. So, and you can deny ground super easily. But that's pretty much like Gully. It's a pretty simple map. You can get some like cheeky plays and some cool flanks on it, but just like passive play is more rewarded as soldier on this map, and you're gonna like, you just want to be like a brick wall for your team on the flank at all times. Also, defending big door in second, if you're like, just to be aware, like, the reason why you don't want to hold in this area is because if their combo ever pushes through big door, like, you're just a sitting duck right here, like, you're just gonna die. So you always want to be passive position or hiding position where you can actually like, where you know you're going for a flank. So yeah, I'll try and get out week 3 a little bit sooner. I know this is super late going up like Saturday night, so there's only really like 1 day of scrims and then the match on Monday, but I was just sort of busy this week. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can either private message me on Reddit or post a YouTube comment or do any of that jazz. I'll be posting this on Reddit, so you can always contact me through that, and it's probably the best way. So yeah, that's it.